You crack the can, that sharp hiss, the first cold, sweet sip, and somewhere deep inside you, a countdown just started. Over the next few hours, your body is going to be pushed into overdrive, run hot, and then dropped off a cliff you never saw coming. Let's follow it, from that first sip all the way to the crash nobody warns you about, and watch exactly what one energy drink does to you. It begins in your stomach. That single can is carrying two payloads. The first is caffeine, somewhere between 80 and 160 milligrams depending on the brand and the size. That's about the punch of 1 to 2 cups of coffee, packed into a drink you can finish in under a minute. The second payload is sugar, and there's a startling amount of it, sometimes 50 or 60 grams in one can. That's more than a dozen teaspoons. There's usually a scattering of taurine and B vitamins in there too, the stuff the label loves to shout about, but they do far less than the two ingredients actually running this show. Both the caffeine and the sugar start slipping through your stomach lining into your bloodstream within minutes, and if your stomach is empty, they move faster still. Within about 45 minutes, nearly all of that caffeine is absorbed and hits its peak in your blood. This is where the real trick happens. All day long, a molecule called adenosine has been slowly building up inside your head. Adenosine is your brain's tiredness signal. It settles into tiny docking points on your neurons and quietly tells them to ease off, wind down, rest. Caffeine, by pure chemical luck, is almost exactly the same shape. It slides into those same docking points and just sits there, blocking them like a key that fits the lock but never turns it. The unsettling part? Your brain is still tired. The caffeine hasn't handed you a single drop of new energy. It has only stopped you from feeling how tired you already are. With those brakes jammed off, your neurons fire faster than they should. Your brain reads that sudden surge almost like an emergency, and it answers the way it always does. A message races down to your adrenal glands, perched on top of your kidneys, and they release adrenaline, the very same hormone that floods you during a near miss in traffic. Your heart beats harder and quicker. Your blood pressure climbs. Your airways widen. Your pupils open. Blood is pushed toward your muscles, and the world around you turns a little sharper and more urgent. Your body has essentially declared a full physical emergency over a beverage. This isn't only a feeling. Studies that measure people sitting perfectly still after a single can find their heart rate and their blood pressure both climb. There's one more piece to the good feeling. Adenosine normally keeps a lid on dopamine, your brain's reward and motivation chemical. Block the adenosine, and dopamine gets to work more freely. That's a big reason the drink doesn't just wake you up. It feels good, and it's quietly a little addictive. Meanwhile, the sugar makes its move. Those grams of glucose hit your blood at once, and your blood sugar spikes. Your pancreas scrambles to keep up, flooding your system with insulin to shove the sugar into your cells. Caffeine makes it messier still, nudging your liver to pour even more stored glucose on top. For a short, glorious window, it all clicks together. The tiredness is muted. The reward chemicals are flowing. The tank is overflowing. This is the sweet spot, maybe 30 minutes to an hour in, where you feel genuinely unstoppable. Focused, buzzing, ready for anything. Your body is convinced something huge is happening. Nothing is. You just drank it. Your body can't hold that state because almost none of it was real energy. It was borrowed. Now the bill comes due. The adrenaline goes first. It's a short-lived hormone, built for quick emergencies, not for the 2 hours you've spent sitting at a desk. As it burns off, that wired, sharpened feeling starts to fade. Then the sugar turns on you. Remember all that insulin your pancreas dumped out to handle the flood of glucose? It tends to overshoot. It can clear the sugar so aggressively that your blood sugar dips lower than where it began. A body running low on blood sugar feels shaky, foggy, weak, suddenly starving, and strangely irritable. The deepest part of the crash is the caffeine itself letting go. This entire time, while caffeine was wedged into those docking points, your brain never stopped making adenosine. It kept piling up behind the door, more and more of it, with nowhere to land. Caffeine has a half-life of around 5 hours, so it leaves slowly. As it finally clears, all of that backed-up adenosine floods the receptors at once. Every tiredness signal your brain has been storing for hours arrives in a single wave. That's why the crash can feel heavier than plain tiredness. You aren't just tired. You're paying interest on the tiredness you postponed. So there you sit, foggy, drained, and craving something. The fastest way to make all of it vanish is painfully obvious. Another can. That's how one drink quietly becomes a habit, the cycle restarting, one loop stacked on the next. Over weeks and months, it gets sneakier. When you flood your brain with caffeine day after day, it fights back by simply growing more adenosine docking points. Now the same can blocks a smaller share of them, so you feel less, and you need more just to reach the place you used to get for free. That's tolerance. Those extra receptors also set a trap. Skip your usual dose for a morning and suddenly there's a surplus of adenosine landing on a surplus of hungry receptors. Blood vessels in your brain swell open, and you get the pounding, unmistakable caffeine withdrawal headache, with fatigue and a foul mood riding along. Your body has quietly rebuilt itself to need the drink just to feel normal. For a healthy adult, an energy drink now and then is not the villain it's sometimes made out to be. Your body handles it and moves on. The trouble is what now and then tends to become. Your heart and blood vessels take a real, measurable strain with every can, and that matters more the more you drink, and a great deal if your heart isn't perfectly healthy. It's a bigger deal for teenagers and kids, whose smaller bodies feel the same dose far more strongly. That 5-hour half-life hides a quieter cost. A can in the afternoon still has half its caffeine circulating at bedtime, sitting on those same receptors, blocking the very tiredness meant to pull you into deep sleep. Even the sleep you do manage runs shallower and less restorative while caffeine lingers in your system. You wake up more tired than you should, then reach again for the very thing that wrecked your rest. The loop doesn't just repeat across an afternoon, it repeats across whole weeks. That's the real secret of the energy drink. Caffeine never truly gives you energy. It hides the tiredness you already carry and lets you spend energy you haven't earned yet. And your body, patient and precise, always comes to collect. So the next time you hear that hiss of the can and taste that first cold sip, you'll know exactly what's coming, hour by hour, all the way down.